Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, we're here on a wet and soggy Exeter morning, but who cares? Because it's top of the league.
Yep, still up there.
Still up there, riding high,
Yeah.
floating above.
And in some style.
In some style, 3-1 away at Carlisle United.
Carlisle.
I love them, Carlisle.
Yeah.
Absolutely whopped them.
Easy, wasn't it?
Opened a can of whoopah.
Too easy.
It was, well, the commentary suggested it could. They really kept up in the numbers, and at one point I heard them say it should have been 9-1.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we romped it.
maybe not even an exaggeration, actually.
Well, they kept saying we're not exaggerating. This could be 8-1, 9-1, but it was really good game, wasn't it?
Yeah. I did listen to on the radio too.
Not on Radio 2.
I also listened to it on the radio, and I think at the end of the day, what was the other thing you kept saying? To be fair, at the end of the day, it could have been 9-1.
Well, it was really good performance. If you've watched it, listeners, we can talk you through it anyway. City went 1-0 up. After Law was in possession, he kind of knocks it across to Williams, who played in a really nice ball to Lee Martin. Really great role, wasn't it?
Such a nice pass.
And then Martin made the absolute most of it and scored in the bottom corner. We then kind of had loads of possession in the first half.
And a load of chances.
Taylor had a shot that nearly went in.
Hit the post,
Bowman
didn't he?
hit the
Taylor
post as well. Bowman was saved a couple of times. But then they managed to get off a rebound, off a kind of goalmouth scramble, they managed to get the equaliser 1-1.
Yeah, second half, wasn't it? It was a weird goal.
Just kind of...
It sort of happens in slow motion. It looks like they're all sort of watching it go as if it's going to go miles over the bar, and it just drops in. It's one of them, isn't it?
But within 6 minutes, we were back in front again. We had the corner from Law and a really great Aaron Martin finish.
Oh, 50p head.
Oh, 50p head. Caught it on the right angle.
Yeah.
There's no right angles on a 50p. It's not a square, listeners.
No, but there is some flat edges.
He caught it on the flat edge. And Matt Taylor called it goal of the season so far.
Yeah.
Which, great, really nicely worked. I guess the manager loves those kind of things. I've written down in my notes...
Is that our first goal this season direct from a corner?
You're asking me questions I can't answer, but it could have been. In my words, the poet, listeners, as you know, it was an absolute bosh.
Yes.
Martin was delighted.
Lovely header.
Really was a lovely header. Put us 2-1, and from then on, Carlisle, they were trying to somehow get something back in it, weren't they? But Lee Martin should have had more. And then Jay comes on, doesn't he?
Yeah, Matt Jay came on for Lee Martin.
And then he played a really nice ball in to Nicky Law, who slotted it away, left foot into the other corner. Yeah,
it's weird, wasn't it? Bowman literally could have had 4 goals. He had 4 chances which on another day you'd expect him to put away.
I think for him a bit,
He had one of those days, didn't he, where he wasn't maybe quite at his sharpest. And but I didn't watch it because it's not available to me. But I can only imagine that he worked tirelessly for however long.
That's what he does. And of course, he's a
minutes.
Carlisle lad.
Yeah.
With his massive head, long face, however you want to describe him.
Yeah.
Paulie Gautieri sideboards. But he couldn't get it, could he? He said he had friends watching.
Really?
Couldn't get the goal, yeah.
Maybe that was it, the pressure.
Yeah. But, he was great. But, Martin could have had a few.
Yeah.
Bowman could have had a few. But 3-1 winners. And Matt Taylor was delighted. He said it was good, not great, Dan.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But only because we didn't put away all those chances. And because, by the sounds of it, Carlisle were not much of an opposition.
One of the Carlisle journalists said it would be like trying to... This is how he described the match. Do you see this? He'd be trying to... Exeter City, trying to keep up with them, was like trying to chase after Usain Bolt when you've had 8 pints and a kebab.
Yeah.
That's very generous to Exeter City because what a comparison. But we seem to make quite the impression.
Yeah, but also I think it really kind of says a lot about how bad Carlisle must have been, I guess.
They were real kind of
what they
rivals of
sounded
ours,
like.
weren't they, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
A
a lot,
team that
can change in 2 years, though,
Well, clearly.
as we know.
Indeed
Well,
so.
you say that. Kind of a case of the more things change, the more they stay the same, though, isn't it? You know,
For City?
for us, yeah.
Yeah, but
as in almost a completely new side, new way of playing. Last season, but essentially same end result. But hopefully that might change this year.
Well, we'll see.
Could this be the year? Are you starting to believe?
I am starting to believe. I mean, I'm always believing, you know
I'm
me. When would you start believing? If we're still top of the league when would you believe?
What, as in uninterrupted top of the league
Yeah.
until... if we're still top of the league at Christmas,
Yeah.
then I'll start believing in the automatics.
Well, okay. There you go. You've heard it. Heard it there, listeners. We'll talk about this later, but of course there's some kind of crunchier games coming up. But I think what we've done so far is dispensed with, those mid-table teams. Dispense with them good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we haven't lost to anyone.
Haven't lost to anyone, listeners. That's confirmed. And Taylor was delighted. He stayed up to see the family, but he's hoping for fish and chips for the boys on the way home.
Oh, well, they deserve it.
They do deserve it.
What if they don't want fish and... Oh, actually, I know the answer to that.
What?
I was about to say, what if they don't want fish and chips? But when I was little, I didn't really want to eat fish either.
So what did you have?
So you had the battered sausage.
Battered
so
sausage.
That's what they'll go
That's
for.
the childhood choice, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So if you don't want the cod, you have the battered sausage.
Would you... In Columpton, you could either get one long unbattered sausage or two short battered sausages. How would you feel
really?
about that? Yeah, what would you
But you
choose?
can't get one big long battered
Can't
sausage.
get one big long battered sausage. Certainly not in
not?
the 80s and 90s. Why not? I don't know. I'm not a chipmonger.
No, there's literally no reason. You just chuck it unless the deep fat fryer is too small to fit the big sausage in.
I can't believe that because you get a piece of cod in.
Yeah.
I think it's this. The integrity of the batter is lost over such a long uninterrupted distance.
I'm sure they're really concerned about that in what's it called?
Hongs.
Hongs, Columpton. Still there?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's your favourite fish and chip shop in Exeter / surrounding areas?
Good question. I'd say Poleslow Bridge. Was it called now Deep
yeah.
Blue? Is it called Deep Blue?
It was called that for a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The one that's been there for ages, but then got sort of, and it was like very average.
Yeah.
And then it got taken over and it was all fancy and...
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like it. I liked it in its averageness because if you're catching the bus to 54 back to Cully, now the one, listeners, and you missed one you've been to the Odeon, you just missed a bus, or you've been to City, you would then walk up Pinnow Road, down Poleslow Road, pop in there, and then catch a bus, the later half-an-hour bus.
Right.
Nowadays, you're right, the classiness means you're willing to travel.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's your favourite?
Well, historically, I would have said, this is a deep cut actually, but Caples, opposite Pyramids swimming baths.
Yeah, okay.
It was called Caples, then it was called Neptune.
King Neptune's.
Neptune Fish Bar,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the best. When
Was
I
it?
was a kid, like definitely that was the best one. But now, recently, sadly closed and about to become a accountants or something.
Is it?
I know this because someone told me.
You know this because someone told
I
you.
just realised I didn't want to say the real reason.
So, whatever that might be, listeners, you can ponder on that on the
Don't
online.
go there.
But I think they should go there. That's how investigative journalism works. Go there, ask the questions that Dan's not willing to answer. I stand by Poleslow Bridge. Nowadays, I'm a vegetarian. I delighted if a chip shop sells you a pea fritter, and they don't all do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought it was an absolute staple.
it's not. It's
Just
not.
staple at Caples. You could also get a battered Mars bar from there.
Well, it's
which I know a lot of
absolute
people do.
odds on at Hongs. Battered Mars bar. I've never had a battered Mars bar.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Matt J is definitely a man who has a battered Mars bar.
You reckon?
Yeah. Or too small. He can't have the full. He can't manage.
Do you think that? Are you suggesting that a lack of good nutrition and vegetables in his youth has led to his sort of diminutive?
Maybe I am. I don't want to
Figure.
cast aspersions on the guy. I just think he's not big enough to now eat a full length battered sausage.
Wow.
Get stuck in his gullet.
Even after playing 4 minutes of first team football for Exeter City.
I don't think he's deserved it. Like, on the way home, do you think they're like, Lewis Ward definitely deserved it, good saves. Bowman's worked hard, definitely worth the full menu choice. Matt J, you've only come on for 4 minutes, so you're only getting chips and curry
Yeah,
sauce.
but he played that delicious pass into Nicky Law.
Oh, if it's about passing contributions, then Randall Williams gets like 3 portions of large chips.
Too many, don't want them.
He don't want them. He's giving them away. He's having to give them away to Woodman, who didn't get on, and to Josie. They've had to come scavenging off Woodman.
Yeah.
Oh no, off Williams.
I'll tell you what's good about what looks like it's coming together with the team is like the way the midfield all seem to be like linking up with each other.
Yeah.
Look, is like that's where we've created so many chances, and we have created quite a lot of chances this season, and we just haven't put them away.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps not in every game, but we haven't really struggled with actually creating chances, which I think previously we had when we were a bit too sort of reliant on just Stockley to score.
Yeah, he'll just score somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now there's just seen that link-up play between Williams and Lee Martin and Jake Taylor, Archie Collins, Nicky Law, and Jack Sparks, I think, who by all accounts look good again. That link-up play between them just looks so good. It looks like they're having from the long highlights from Saturday's game, just look like they're having the time of their lives, like loving it.
It's great, isn't it? And do you know what else is working? And this really showed on Saturday. The defence are very willing to do what they need to do. So they seem to have it worked well, that if Sweeney needs to give some support on the right-hand side, up he goes. He played a nice ball into Williams that led to the second goal, I think.
Yeah.
That kind of things is working really well. Obviously, Aaron Martin came in with a goal. I just think it's really looking like, and he said this, didn't he, with Jay. Jay was man of the match against Mansfield and then didn't start this week because Law coming back in. And Taylor was obviously kind of felt sorry for Jay about that. But he said it's great and have that strength in depth. And what's really working well with that strength in depth is, exactly like you said, they're all contributing in good, solid ways that work well together.
Yeah. I can't really remember a time when we had this much strength in depth.
No.
Like in recent times.
No, I struggle to remember.
You've got all these players who think, a Josie, fair enough, he hasn't done much yet, but there's a good player there who's played a higher level than this and can definitely do something. He can't get inside at the moment.
Compare that to January, where Bowman wasn't really kicking on yet. And
we've just bought him, haven't we?
Just bought him, and basically the mindset was, we got to keep him in there because he'll come good at some point, but also we don't have the luxury of choice.
Yeah.
Whereas now, Josie's the new man in, same position as Bowman was. It's not really working for him. Doesn't matter for the team.
We've also got Alex Fisher, who's only had cameo appearances so far, but I think looks like a good player too. And
it's really interesting to see that you're right. We can name 5 players who've hardly started or have now faded out of the team.
Yeah.
Who seem like they should be.
Well, I definitely think at very least we've got a better than acceptable, but a decent double up on every position.
Yeah.
And if someone's out, the replacement's up to the job.
Absolutely.
And you're not right. Well, I think before it's kind of the centre back situation. In the last couple of years,
it's been a real patch job, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then you're like, oh, who is going to play? And it's like Troy Brown on his first game back after 9 months.
His legs basically hanging off.
And Luke Kroll, who, as much as I did didn't really fill you with confidence, did he?
No, he didn't. But yeah, there's loads of other lads throughout the squad who, even the bench, there's some players struggling to get on the bench.
Yeah, Tilly hasn't got on this season yet, has he?
No, I believe so.
Has he?
No, he stood there looking like he was going to at Mansfield and then it never happened. I don't think it's happened away.
No, he played in
the cup game last week, back along.
Leasing.com,
which we're not talking about. So don't worry, listeners. But yeah, all in all, a very nice performance.
If you're a local bookmaker, can I get some odds on Jordan Tilson being player of the tournament for the whole of the Leasing.com cup, whatever it's called?
I'm sure someone will give you some odds. I don't know if your money's that safe. I want to give a big shout out to the 198, I think, supporters who went all that blimmin' way, £350 each way on a Saturday. I know it's a Saturday and I know it's September, but outstanding. I heard them loud and clear through the radio. They sounded louder than the Carlisle supporters often.
We know what that is, because BBC Radio Devon go down there and they put a mic right by the... It's all a conspiracy. They just put a mic... It isn't.
Amazing.
They don't have those resources.
No, they really one mic per broadcast, aren't they, Radio Devon? But I thought it was excellent turnout from the away supporters.
Yeah.
There seems to be 200 hardcore who just make it to almost anything.
Yeah.
So our lowest away support kind of ever at the moment is 200. That's incredible. incredible effort. And then obviously those of us who aren't able to commit like that or simply are put off by that massive journey are able to build up the numbers in other places. But yeah, brilliant. And Taylor was obviously really chuffed with them turning out, as you would be.
Yeah.
Gary Warren, baby. Gary Warren, woo-woo. Gary Warren, baby. Gary Warren, woo-woo.
There's 2 games to look forward to over the next 7 or 8 days, Dan. We welcome Leyton Orient back to St James Park. First time in 2 years. They got knocked down to the National League and came back last year, of course. Orient, I mean, they're kind of a staple League 2 team. It seems kind of weird not to have played a London game for a while.
Yeah.
So good to have them back. They currently sit in 17th, but of course they've had a weird old time. Promoted, and then their manager, Justin Edinburgh, died in June.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Oh, really miserable. Yeah. I mean, they were obviously all really shaken up by it, as were Newport, actually. He'd only recently left them.
Yeah.
So at the minute, they're got this kind of interim manager who was Edinburgh's assistant, Ross Embleton.
Okay. And they're doing okay.
They're doing
aren't
okay.
They?
I mean,
for a promoted side.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they've done the old lost 1, drawn, lost 1 over the last 5. And the most recent win was in the old leasing.com.
That doesn't count.
But it doesn't count.
Yeah. I
So
remember
that's
Justin
them.
Edinburgh really well from
Playing
years
for
gone by,
Spurs.
playing for Spurs when I
Yeah.
sort of first got into football and
He was a fullback, wasn't he, for Spurs for quite a long time?
Yeah.
In the kind of Lineker Gaza era. So
yeah,
I mean,
Holston.
really sad. Holston's sponsor on the shirt. So I guess they're just trying to piece it together. They scored quite a lot. They've let in quite a few too.
we should win, shouldn't we, that one?
I should think we would be looking to win that one.
Now we've got this kind of... Now we're the best team in the division.
I know. They've got the amazingly named goalkeeper. You know him? Dean Brill.
Yeah, and is he?
No, that Brill.
Yeah.
But, Brill by name.
Liar.
Dean Brill in goal. Joby McAnuff.
If you can't live up to your name, change it.
Do you think he should change his name?
Yeah, well, if he's just...
Dean mediocre.
Yeah.
Dean quite good at schoolboy level.
Yeah, all right, but found his level.
Dean found his level. I mean, I'd like to know what my surname would be
Like
changed to.
hyphenated.
3 hyphens.
Yeah.
2 hyphens, 3 words. That Joby McAnuff's the kind of name in the squad. Remember him? Reading in the Premier League. Kind of very solid midfielder. I think he's about 37, 38.
Say his name again.
Joby McAnuff.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Rings a bell. Joby. I guess he would know Taylor and Sweeney from the Reading days.
Right.
That kind of era.
Okay.
Taylor, obviously 10 years younger than him. And then that guy, Matt Harold, up front. I always think his name's the wrong way around. He should be called Harold Matt.
Okay.
Remember him? He
No.
played at Wickham. He's been in League Two a really long time for a load of different clubs.
Matt Howard. You can't... What do they say? You can't trust people with 2 first names.
Or so good they named him twice. Matt Harold.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, he's the only one I can think of currently.
Oh, there's loads, but yeah.
Yeah.
Have we got any?
No.
Archie Collin.
Oh, yeah, Archie Collin would be it,
That
wouldn't
doesn't
it?
really count because Collins isn't a... Well, actually, is a first name. Collins John. Remember him?
Do you remember him? My wife pays no attention at all to football. When the radio's on, she's always fascinated by Christy Pym, who I know no longer of this parish. She was convinced his name was Chris T. Pym. Like he'd give himself the middle name initial.
Right, yeah.
Chris T. Pym. But,
Yeah, you don't hear about many... You don't really... Christy isn't a particularly common...
my granddad had a cousin called Christy,
English,
Irish. Christy. I guess it's Irish, is it? I don't know.
Maybe.
Nonsense.
Pym seems very Devon to me.
So
as a
Devon.
surname.
There's a load of Pyms, aren't there?
Yeah. Where that comes from.
They're all from the town of Pimho.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Pimho Sainsbury's.
Pimho Sainsbury's. That's right. Everyone loves it. Pimho Road,
Yeah.
where you can find your Polso fish and chip shop. Ironically.
And also Martin's Pies, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Mar Pim's Pies.
I mean, I don't want to slag off local independent businesses, so I won't. It's brilliant.
Martin's Pies.
Yeah,
The only
change
pie
your
shop in
mind.
town. It's a long way out of town, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I always like thinking about weirdly located, essentially high street shops. So there's the framing shop on Magdalen Road. I think it's gone now.
Right.
Way out of town.
I like all those little businesses that are in very residential areas.
Yeah,
you know,
makes no
when-
sense.
it doesn't happen as much as it used to, but you'd have like, you know, like terraced houses, and then one of them's a hairdresser.
Yeah, I like that.
And then there's obviously a load of newsagents and stuff like that, but
Don't get it anymore, do you?
not so much. You know, it's still just about some hanging on in
My
there. but-
favourite, actually, my absolute favourite is also on the kind of Magdalen Road, Hertfordshire Road interchange. It used to be a corner shop, and then it became a bag shop, Bags of Choice.
Oh, that place is nuts.
I think it's
Yeah.
gone, hasn't it? I think it's finally
Is
expired.
it maybe nothing now? Yeah.
I mean, who's going there? Exeter school kids? I really want to get a cheap bag. My dad's got loads of money, so I'm going up to this bag shop, Bags of Choice.
Do you think they came up with the name, much like this podcast,
Yes.
and thought that is such a good name? I've actually got to get a shop.
Yeah, and they couldn't afford a Civil Street shop. So.
Bags of Choice.
Bags
Yeah.
of Choice.
I think that was a video sort of rental shop for a bit before that as well. Maybe before it was a.
Corner shop.
Yeah,
I lived
newsagent.
around there for a while. It was definitely a corner shop there. And then it was Gurkha. Is the Gurkha Indian place still there? Is that gone?
I think that's next door.
Oh, yeah, a bit out of touch. And then Walter Wall Carpets. Another place where you'd come up with the name for the shop.
Walter Wall.
Walter Wall Carpets. And then think,
Yeah.
I need a shop. Anyway, this brings us on nicely to... Do you know who owns Leyton Orient? Do you know it's the man who owns which company owns Leyton Orient?
Bags of Choice.
Sadly, not Bags of Choice. So they went through loads of rubbish. They were kind of the berry of the time, weren't they? About 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. I vaguely remember this.
Well, they came in, a buyer came in as an absolute saviour. They've been in financial security ever since. He's kind of very vocal in terms of financial security. And he is the owner of Dunkin' Donuts.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was American.
Yeah, it is.
What, he owns the whole thing?
Yep.
American
Yep.
man.
Yeah, apparently it's the dunking franchise. In America, you can dunk other things. They have the...
What else you dunking?
I don't know. Well, I guess it's like carrots in
A
hummus.
sausage into a mug of baked beans.
Good reference there. I don't know what else you're dunking. Maybe it's like, you know, like selling like fishing lines, like dunking fishing lines.
I don't think you dunk a fishing line.
You do if you're like down Mevergissey.
The only way it was like it's would work was like a basketball, isn't it? They sell
Oh yeah,
basketball?
maybe he should own a basketball team, shouldn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't even really agree with the concept of dunking a donut. So
Neither do I.
just eat the donut and drink your coffee. Why do you have to got to go sticking it in there?
Is the donut supposed to be dunked in the coffee?
Well, I don't know.
I always assumed it was like
apply
cream.
to?
I don't
What,
know,
into a
jam or
dip?
something. Yeah, I thought it was some sort of like sweet dip.
I don't know. I always had it in my head that you'd
I always love a sweet dip
I think-
down the seaside.
Americans always like putting stuff in their drinks,
Are they?
like dipping. I know actually, no, actually, it's quite an English thing, isn't it? Put a biscuit in your tea.
That's not dipping, though. That's
That's
dunking.
dunking.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's where I assumed that's what the donut thing was about.
Yeah, maybe. I've never been to a Dunkin'
Right, so
Donuts.
that presumably is absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
Is he just spreading himself quite thin? Because I don't see Leyton Orient with like a ton of cash, kind of like.
Honestly, I don't know the answer. I'll look him up later, and
Right.
we'll fill the listeners in. But
I wonder what that's like to have these like sort of like very remote foreign owners of your club.
I mean,
I felt a little bit like that when Michael Jackson was getting involved, but like he never really felt like he was backing it financially.
no, it must be really weird, mustn't it? Like, I always think about that guy. Is his name Stuart Donald or Donaldson, who's bought Sunderland?
Right.
And he's a South East guy, and he owned a South East club, who I now forget, a non-league team.
Okay.
And then he buys Sunderland. Now, you know, I see why you'd want to get involved in that, but you're getting up there every week, are you? Like,
Nah, no way.
it's mad, isn't it? So, I know we talk about this all the time, how grateful we are for Exeter City being fan-owned, but if I was owning a club, you just want it to be your local, wouldn't you? Like, or at least where you lived.
Or at least like in a different country, maybe. That makes it a bit different because you haven't got a vested interest elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Dunkin' Donuts man does, but he's the owner of
Weird.
Leyton Orient. I wonder if they do Dunkin' Donuts at the... I've forgotten what it's called now, their ground. At the Orient Stadium. We'll find out in the summer.
The Dunkin' Donuts Stadium,
It's not called
presumably.
it. See, so he's avoided the kind of crap that you'd normally associate with
Oh, okay.
these kind of foreign
For
owners. For now. But Orient, this is worth saying, Dan, unlike almost everything else we've said this morning, will be our last game of the season if we aren't in the playoffs.
Yes.
Away game in London could be an absolute thing worth travelling to, if you know what I'm saying, listeners. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Don't want to curse it.
Yeah. We'll have it wrapped up by then, won't we?
Be a nice place to wrap it up.
I think we'll have it wrapped up months before.
There, so he's getting on board with the optimism already. So that's Saturday, Leyton Orient, at home. Then Tuesday, we welcome Port Vale. So it's not our first, but remember last year we kind of struggled, didn't we, with the old Saturday, Tuesday?
Did we?
A bit. You know, it was quite likely that the Tuesday would suffer. And, of course, with the squad being quite thin,
Yeah,
we might
okay.
rest some players on the Saturday.
Yeah,
so it'll be
sure.
interesting to see how we deal with that.
Yeah, well, maybe it's like, I mean, he doesn't. It looks like Matt Taylor, now he's got this team, doesn't want to break it. Does it? You know, like, he doesn't want to change things too much. He's obviously very happy with that starting 11.
Pretty much.
Change things a little bit. Sparks sort of coming in, but
Lord
he doesn't
coming
even
back in.
like making subs. Sort of making very against
Mansfield.
Mansfield. He didn't make a sub till like the 90th minute.
No, I thought that was great. And I thought that...
And didn't make any changes this week till late. Well, why would you? If
Why would
things
you?
are working like that, it's just the sensible thing to do. It's not like making a sub for the sake of it.
No.
But-
Remember the old Tisdale factor, which was, he was like the old, you know, you kind of set your clock by him. He would, at that point in time, and not before, the subs would warm up.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to wind up the big bank.
Well, he definitely did that.
After a
Whereas-
while, he was like, no, I'm going to leave it another 5 minutes.
Whereas Taylor's, you know, it just seems like there's some thought going on here.
Yeah. I mean, it's very understandable. You can see why you
Yeah.
do it. But we'll see on this week, I suppose, with the little double, or next week, with the little
Yeah.
double game.
I'm looking forward to it. 2 home games in 3 days. Love that.
Yeah, I love a Tuesday night.
I love a
home game as
Tuesday
well.
night. And especially this time of year. We don't get many this time of year. So it'll be dark, but not too dark.
Yeah.
Oh, brings out the romantic in me.
I'm going to eat a pasty, I think.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm going to have a Dunkin' Donut.
I might bring my own, though, because they're not, you know. No, I won't. I'll support whoever owns that little calf.
Exeter City.
Oh,
the
yeah.
fans own that calf.
Yeah.
Fan-owned calf.
Me.
Here's what
I
I'd like.
literally own that calf.
Go behind the bar.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd like to see.
I'm going to eat a pasty.
You know, City's quite good at voting on things, isn't it? We choose our match day mixtape. We vote for our goals of the month and our players of the month and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to see a vote on the new items on the cafe menu.
Yeah, I'd say be careful what you wish for.
I like it.
You've seen the playlist.
What you mean, like I'll get a stroganoff? Stroganoff in a mug would be my like go-to vegetarian choice from now on or something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll be careful.
Remember we had Domino's for a bit?
I do. I love that. I don't think I ever had one, but I always like the idea of one.
Yeah. That's quite Hollywood, isn't it, to have that?
Can't really eat a pizza standing up.
No, there were those little ones, weren't there? If you're on the bar, if you're on one of the barriers, you're
You're living
loving
the
it.
dream. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway, that's Tuesday night. I'm looking forward to that. So it's
Yeah.
Port Vale at home.
Robbie Williams is Port Vale.
Robbie Williams is Port Vale. They've got this fella, John Askey, in charge, who,
Oh, that rings a bell.
well, his
Where's he
resume
been?
does not fill you with joy. I mean, if you were a Port Vale fan, you saw this guy coming in, you'd think, right, great. I mean, it's what we avoided by getting Taylor in. He got sacked by Shrewsbury last season, came in. Before that, he was at York. Before that, he was at Macclesfield. It's not a, you know, and he wasn't a player at any kind of great shakes either way. And their playing list, their squad list, they got Manny Aliki. Remember we talked about him last year, City kind of legend for no reason at all except that we liked his name.
Yeah.
And then they've got another Jake Taylor.
Really?
Yeah, trying to get in on the act. They've got your song that you've put together, their jingle. If there's a Port Vale podcast out there that wants your jingle, you could send it up to them.
Yeah, if you want it. It won't cost you much.
A small fee.
Yeah.
Um,
Made payable to Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
Oh, yeah.
probably. But
He's got enough. You'll send it on. So they've had a weird start to the season as well. They sit in 14th. They've lost, in order, lost, won, drawn. Bit weird, you know, so they managed to beat Forest Green,
Yeah.
but then they got thumped by Grimsby 5-2. So, you know, it's a bit, who knows. And they got beaten by Newport at the weekend, but Newport kind of left it late, and it was only 1-0.
Okay.
Who are our other form team in the division.
Yeah.
Apart from us, Newport,
I
of
think,
course.
I mean, if we want to be seriously, genuinely taking this league by storm, which, some people are saying, are they?
Well, we are.
I don't know.
We're a
then
voice
we've
in this.
these are 2 games we should be winning, aren't they? If we want to seriously think about getting promoted.
Absolutely. We should. These should be 6 points.
Yeah, especially at home.
Especially at home. Dan, you know when people talk about the media, the media are ruining football, or good on the media for highlighting this issue?
Yeah.
That's us. Do you ever think that?
The media.
We're the media now. We're involved.
I mean, at some level, I suppose, yeah.
I'm going to get myself some sort of hat with a press card sticking
which
out
is
of it.
interesting, because I've never been a member of the media before, and I didn't really think about it when I started doing this.
But now you're in. You're as
Yeah.
bad as Piers Morgan, you are, mate.
Yeah, I've not been listening to anyone's phone calls, though.
You're as good as... who's a good journalist? You're as good as Daniel Taylor exposing the abuse crimes at Crewe Alexandra.
Yeah, who's the other guy? The guy who sort of brought FIFA Sepp Blatter down single-handedly.
Oh, yeah, that guy. We're as good as him.
Yeah.
We're
David Kahn, is that him? No, he's done some... I don't know.
we're breathing the same air as these guys.
Yeah.
So good on us.
And, of course, Devon, some seriously good stock in that area.
What, journalists?
Yeah.
Who?
Katie Holmes? No, Katie Holmes. She's from Dawson's Creek.
Not Katie Holmes.
Katie Hopkins.
Katie Hopkins.
The worst.
Are we in her category?
If you listen to this, Katie, don't.
Yeah. Well, or listen and take on some of our good vibes.
Yeah?
I don't want anyone to, I want people to get better. I don't want them to be ostracised. I want them to improve.
I agree.
So let's all improve together. And let's start by winning this league, Exeter City. I'm fully optimistic. And I think that, like you said, 6 points over the next 2 games would be an absolute dream start.
Yep.
We were just talking about strength in depth in the squad. One of our loanees has returneth to his club of home. What?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Is it?
Robbie Cundy.
Robbie
Has he not
Cundy.
gone to Torquay, or was that just...
He did a bounce, didn't he?
Yeah.
I hope for his sake they didn't make him drive all the way back to Bristol and then say, oh, now you're going to Torquay.
Yeah.
I hope he just let him go from Exeter straight
not
to
that
Torquay.
far. It's a bit like Tristan Abrahams last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, same. So Cundy got recalled, I think. I mean, reading between the lines, Bristol were like, are you ever going to play him? And City were like, no.
No, he's not that good.
Well, he didn't look that good, did he? Like we were well up for him to do an absolute wallop of a header.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young boy, isn't he? So it doesn't mean,
It's not all over for
6
him.
weeks at Exeter City, and doesn't mean like, oh, you couldn't cut it, mate. You're done.
And we only saw him against Swansea, didn't we? So, but that's him gone. He's gone on to Torquay. So that's one less centre back. But of course, Gary Warren's hardly played at all yet.
Yeah, and he's the best player in the division. So
You're keeping this fact going, are you?
yeah, I don't know. No, he's not quite, but I just don't know. For some reason, I just really like him.
Okay, well, fair dues. So Warren's still there, but Cundy has gone to Torquay via his home club, Bristol City.
Yeah.
Here's the other mate. Oh, go on.
Wait, just briefly, I just want to... When is Nigel Ghana going to be
Yeah, I
coming
don't know.
in?
It's his birthday this week.
No, it's today.
Oh, happy birthday, Nigel.
Happy birthday, Nige. Get
Get on.
yourself in that team. I can't wait to see him. I think he's going to play in one of these 2 games feature.
Do
in
you?
One of these
So he's
2
not
games
injured anymore?
coming. Well, I think he is, but I think he's very much on the verge of being better back,
Okay.
I'm just really looking forward to seeing him. I think it's like a different type of player, maybe. And just like, yeah, I think maybe it could be even better with him involved.
Well, it'd be nice
Although
to see
he's
on
going to struggle to get in the team at this rate,
He
isn't
is going to struggle to get in.
Because who would he replace? Sort of Archie,
Collins, I suppose. Well,
Yeah.
Collins has been faultless.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting.
Nige.
But, when someone inevitably takes a knock or whatever, good to know he's there.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I don't know if listeners, you've been reading, maybe Dan, you've read it, the Jake Taylor column.
Yeah, I have. Nice surprise that when that popped up.
So coming in a long line of City players writing for the Echo and Devon Live. We've had Moxie, we've had Wheeler,
Yeah.
we've had
I can't remember who did it before Wheeler. He did it for quite a while, didn't he?
maybe Moxie twice.
Moxie one was a bit whatever, wasn't it?
We had Circum for a bit, didn't we, as well?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I could do with never hearing anything he had to say.
But I'm delighted to read Jake Taylor's thoughts on everything.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Obviously.
any surprises in your reading of it, Dan?
I like the bit where he said he basically lied to Tisdale about how good Sweeney was.
He did, didn't he? To quote here, having played with him at Reading, Tiz asked me whether he was any good, and I probably told him he was better than he was. Love it. And then Taylor goes on, and this is a revelation. I didn't know they lived together. I knew they were mates. I knew they were like gig-going mates, if you can call Craig David a gig. Had I realised he'd end up being my lodger and I'd be responsible for driving him everywhere until at the 4th attempt he finally succeeded in passing the theory part of his driving test, 4 attempts, I might have thought twice about it.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a revelation. 4 times to pass a theory test, Piers.
You know, he probably didn't revise.
You didn't see that hazard. Is that what you got to do? See a hazard coming and press
There's
the
a
screen?
hazard perceptions part of the test.
I did it before that was even a thing.
It's nice to see that they're such, you know, there's such good sort of
Well, he's even used the word bromance.
mates
Not a word I'd ever use.
within the squad, isn't it? You know,
It is
and those
brilliant.
two are definitely real life mates. And I'm looking forward to hearing and reading more about Jake Taylor's sort of thoughts.
Yeah.
I think that's like a good. It's a good thing that the Echo can sort of do, isn't it? You know, because
Absolutely.
I mean, what else do you? It's hard to come up with material about Exeter City. You wouldn't think it. We somehow managed to do 45 minutes plus a week.
I mean, if we had a pie chart of stuff we cover, Exeter City would be on there, but it probably wouldn't be the biggest chunk.
Maybe not.
You know. But yeah, Taylor, it's really good to read his thoughts. It's good that the Echo can kind of put that out there. It's kind of just confirms everything I already thought about him, really. He loves the community ethos of the club. He feels privileged to be the captain and be part of it all, so hats off to him.
Yeah, good lad.
Get on, Jake. All I need to say now is give him a song.
I know. Well, maybe Port Vale have got one for their Jake Taylor and we can just nick that.
Oh, that's a good idea. We could like trade off jingles for songs.
Well, we won't find out though, will they? Because there's no way they're going to be doing much chancing when we absolutely tear them apart.
I'd love to see...
Gary Warren hat-trick.
Me and you and your brother were talking about this, weren't we? Gary Warren hat-trick. Me and you and your brother were talking about how, you know, we're winning everything. We've not lost yet. But doesn't yet feel like we're fully, like, clamped on to, like, taking this league by storm. So we want to see a thumping, don't we? We want to see a 4, 5, 6
And sort of
niller.
like they say, based on Saturday, someone's due a thumping.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they are. So I'd love to see that. I think that would really kind of tip the balance. And the club, you know, we're already getting bigger numbers this season than last season, and last season, the season before that. But if people start thinking they're top of the league and they're winning these games by an absolute hatful, you know, we'll start seeing 5,000 at home, which would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
5,000 home supporters.
Well, yeah, we were way off that, weren't we, at Mansfield, actually, which is a bit of a strange one, but, you know, whatever. Maybe you've got other things on.
I mean, summer's always a bit hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
It was kind of the last weekend of summer, really, wasn't it? So maybe people were sort of
back from holidays.
going to Cornwall or whatever.
So I think, you know, if one of these two games comes up with a great old hatful of goals, I think we could start seeing some real turnout. And, you know, you want to hit the Argyle game, because that will sell out, I'd imagine. You want to hit that in good form, come away from that with some points. Those people will stay on.
Yes. Can't wait for that game.
Coming up fast. Friends, it's been good to talk to you. This has been the Big Bank Theory podcast. Don't forget you can get in touch with us on Twitter at Big Bank Pod, on Facebook, the Big Bank Theory podcast, and by email, bigbankpod@gmail.com. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Yeah, cheers.
See you soon. Top of the league!